Hey, what's up everybody? Prime22 here, bringing you something different. So I apologize for the lack of videos that have been coming out recently. I haven't really had time to record. A lot of people have been in the house and you can hear everything through these walls. In fact, during this whole video here, you'll probably hear people outside. You'll also probably hear fireworks because I happen to be recording this on America Day, so there's that. This video is just going to be a sort of response to some comments. I don't know exactly what I'm going to title it, but you guys leave some great comments, and I felt that it's sort of with my time to answer them on video, just in case I get some similar comments so I can direct them to this video. Oh boy, that's a lot of glare. I actually recorded this video 2 times already, but each time something wrong happened with the technical stuff, so apologies if this video feels a bit low quality in the content. Yeah, I've already done this video before, like 2 times, and it's quite a lengthy video without being edited. It might even still be lengthy with edits. But forgive me for like any lack of energy or excitement. I just want to get this done. Our first comment says, "You forgot My Little Pony." And this was a comment on my Intro to Transformers Lore video where I talked about what I would be talking about in Transformers lore and what I wouldn't be talking about because they only touch points a little bit. They're Megaverse properties, and I only cover what's in the multiverse. And as far as My Little Pony is concerned, My Little Pony is in the multiverse. There have been some ponies from the MLP universes that have shown up in Transformers universes, usually as a cameo, but the only real universe was a Lambda universe, so there's nothing worth talking about there. Oscar Perez says, "I doubt Primus made any contribution in Primax 984.17 Alpha because he does not exist. I take that back everything I said in the first video, but I do not understand where the Quintessons of Primax 984.17 Alpha are put into this awesome story." And that's, the first one was on like episode 1 or 2 of Transformers Lore, the original 3 episodes, and the other one was on the one after that. Well, basically, this is referring to how the Transformers in Primax 984.17 Alpha were created by the Quintessons. At least that's what you were told in the TV show. But, yeah. Primus did sort of have a role in that universe in creating the Transformers through the Quintessons, and the details of that are in Transformers Universe featuring the Wreckers and in Transformers Universe. And yeah, we'll eventually get to that in Transformers Lore, but he's there, he does things, Primus moves in mysterious ways, and yeah. But he's there. Chris Vellner says that Boba Fett's ship Slave 1 with the Dinobots with the first Star Wars Transformers crossover. And then William Johnson and Kyle Parker's artwork is fantastic too. Also, page 1 looks like Ratchet is on Dagobah from the Star Wars universe. This refers to, on the Marvel lore for the Transformers lore for the Marvel US universe, where the Dinobots go to the Savage Land, and the artists drew their Autobot shuttle as Slave 1, Boba Fett's, and originally Jango Fett's starship, but later became Boba Fett's starship from the Star Wars universe, and that was an intentional cameo. As for the Dagobah thing, close in that it's a reference, but not being Star Wars. That's the Savage Land, which is in the Marvel universe, which I think still is in the Marvel universe. It's less of a reference and more of actual Marvel originally thought this was going to be in the main Marvel universe, but then later on they decided, nah. Well, yeah, that's the Savage Land. Mr. Viger Primus, I probably messed that up, said, "The one being may be omnipotent," and Oscar comes in with, he kind of feels like God for some reason. And sort of the original intention was for the one to be like the God figure, as if like the Judeo-Christian God himself, but then it sort of evolved over time to the point that he's pretty useless. Like, he didn't even do the Big Bang. He was just kind of chilling there, and all of a sudden life popped up around him. It's like, whoa. But yeah. The one may originally have been pretty great, but nowadays he's sort of just this thing that tells Primus what to do and just sort of slips away because he has no control over anything. He may do stuff every now and then, but Weebot asks if the Quintessons created the Transformers, who created the Quintessons? Depends on the universe. And that being said, Transformers aren't always created by the Quintessons in the universe, but I get what you're saying. The origin of the Quintessons sort of varies. Sometimes they just come in through a technogenesis, which is the spontaneous evolution of gears, levers, and pulleys into life. Other times they are heralds of Unicron that Unicron created, usually to go find Primus. And usually they find Primus, decide not to tell Unicron about it, and start building Transformers there. In the Aligned universe, or the Transformers Prime universe, they were the creations of Quintus Prime that went wrong. And in G.I. Joe versus the Transformers, or Transformers versus G.I. Joe, I can't remember the order, they're from the 5th dimension and actually created that universe. Now, I have a little theory on those Quintessons. See, what happened to the Quintessons in the Japanese Generation 1 universe is the last of the Quintessons got thrown through this dimensional vortex and were never seen again. My theory is that they're the ones that went into what they call the 5th dimension, really just beyond reality, so like transwarp really, and created that universe for more creation stuff. That's my little headcanon, and I'm going to keep it until they actually explain what's the deal with those Quintessons, because if they don't explain it, they don't have to explain it, because there's already a story there that you can connect the dots to. Chris Vilner says, "Hey look, you have 100 subs." Huh. Oh crap. Fun fact, you guys are like subscribing like, I get about 2 a day nowadays. It's weird, like, where are you people coming from? But yeah, it's hard to believe I have 150 subscribers. Like, back when I had 50, I was surprised. I was gonna make a video talking about how awesome that is. But, that was April. And if you're a college student in April, you know that's when you have no life. And by the time I was finally calm, free of anything to do, I had already hit 100. And so then I started to do this video. And it took me 3 different tries to make this video. Let me check to see if the mic's not muted on this, because last time the mic was muted. Okay, we're good. But yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to make a video talking about this, and every time I try, like, there's technical difficulties, and by the time I restart it again, I get more subscribers, like you guys are coming out of all which ways. Like, that's pretty awesome. Got pretty cool subscribers too. A lot of you make some good content. Well, yeah, thank you guys so much for 150 subscribers. I really didn't expect to get beyond 17 in my life, because I didn't expect that my content would be liked that much, but yeah. Calvin is awesome says, "Am I the only one who prefers the cartoon over this rubbish?" Referring to the Transformers Marvel stuff. Usually, if a person has seen both the whole cartoon and all the comics, they usually tend to prefer the comics over the cartoon, because the comics usually cover things more in depth and are a bit more darker and mature. I say mature. Didn't we just cover a story where the Decepticons tried to harness the power of rock and roll? Also, we'll get to covering the cartoon universe eventually, don't you worry. And 3, why did you feel the need to comment this? Chris Vilner asks where I got the imagery, and yeah, I've been working like a whole lot to get my collection of Transformers media up and running for future videos. Like, I'm getting freaking con exclusives, like Hasbro Collectors Club stories, which are hard to get. Even going to get Japanese stuff that haven't even been translated into English yet. Luckily, I speak Japanese, so translating that won't be a problem. The one thing I'm worried about, the one thing that's important that I really can't get my hands on and properly translate is Beast Wars Neo. So if anyone can get that translated or fan subbed or anything, because I can hardly understand that with just audio. Because with Transformers in Japanese, they tend to throw in a lot of political terms, a lot of military terms, and a lot of verbal tics that are weird. Also a lot of, like, 80s Japanese culture jokes that I don't get. But yeah, I would explain more in the verbal tics, but it's kind of hard to explain. So understanding Beast Wars Neo is going to be pretty hard. These two guys talk about the volumes and the music, and yeah, I'm still a beginner at editing. I'm trying to get the editing of audios right, and yeah, sorry if I blow out your ears sometimes. Weebot again says, "As enjoyable as the movies are, Michael Bay needs to stop. I want something completely new." Now, the last 2 times I tried to record this video, I went on a pretty long rant about what I'd like to see in the movie universe, and I just don't have the energy, so I'm going to see what I can do about shortening my response. I see that a lot of people want the movie universe to be rebooted, because they do not like the Michael Bay universe. I do not want that to happen, and here's why. Those who don't like the Michael Bay universe usually haven't read the comics that tie into it, because the Michael Bay universe is actually okay with the comics. So there's that. 2, you eliminate that universe, besides the fact that there's a bunch of continuity that we've been investing ourselves in out the window. They'll make a remake. And the thing is, they're going to do it based on what the public perceives Transformers. And the public perceives Transformers as Michael Bay's Transformers. And they're just going to remake another Michael Bay universe. And we're trying to struggle with just one universe here. Especially rebooting it, I just see it as starting the problem all over again. We've sort of stabilized the Michael Bay universe with the comics and books to make it something that's comprehensible. But we reboot it and then we go back to square one. What I want to see is good writing. What I mean by that is taking the future of the Transformers movie stuff. Don't disregard what came before. Don't disregard the comics especially. And as you go forward, just have better writers writing better stories. Maybe adapt things by James Roberts or Simon Furman or John Barber or something like that. And yeah, that's what I really want to see. I want to see good writing implemented in future Transformers medium that not only don't disregard the comics, but maybe reference the comics. Make people realize, hey, there's some continuity here that if you just watch the movies, you're not going to understand what's happening. So yeah, Douglas talks about the shared movie universe, and I like to do a disclaimer. I said in the IDW Revolution stuff that I heard that the G.I. Joe movie was in the same universe as the Bayverse. I checked my source on that, and it said citation needed. So, but yeah, he's talking about the shared universe between the movies. And I'm like, I haven't even seen G.I. Joe. But my primary concern was with the IDW comics stuff. And I do hope John Barber makes up something that makes everything flow smoothly. Now, I have been reading, I've been trying to catch up with G.I. Joe. I've been reading all of Micronauts, all of Action Man, and yeah, everything's been pretty good, actually. Except for G.I. Joe, but that's just the early stuff. And I think when you begin something, it's going to start off a little weak. But Micronauts, Action Man, those two have been, those are pretty good. And ROM, I liked ROM. Speaking of ROM, this person says, I'd probably be pretty into this if IDW hadn't screwed up with ROM so badly. Referring to Revolution. And the thing is, ROM is 15 pages. There's only 15 pages of ROM. How can you just say they screwed it up so badly in 15 pages? And did we read the same 15 pages? Because I didn't see anything that screwed it up so badly. Granted, I have not been a fan of ROM before this. I probably will never go back and read the ROM comics. But I did enjoy the comic, and I think it'll probably be good with introducing ROM to a new generation of readers. But yeah, I think it's way too early to say that IDW screwed up ROM. I recommend looking at this video. I'll put it in the description. I don't like putting up annotations. In the description to a vlog by Daniel Adkins, and he's a fan of ROM before. Like he's a fan of all the Marvel ROM stuff, and he's a fan of the original ROM stuff. So please go check that video out. He seems to be pretty pro new ROM, and he gives a good explanation. So go check that out. These people talk about. Drew Anthony mentions that there should be a Transformers lore book. There sort of is. There's a book called The Covenant of Primus, but that's specifically the aligned universe, just Transformers Prime, War for Cybertron, that stuff. But it takes a whole lot of influence from other Transformers stuff. I heavily recommend that. That'll probably be my primary source of information when I do the Aligned series, which should be coming out soon. And they also mentioned that there should be a Transformers RPG. Link in the description to below to a Transformers RPG that I found, but I've never messed with it because I don't really do RPG stuff. This person says, my guess is he is not Optimus Prime and will actually be Nemesis Prime, referring to my reaction to the Transformers 5 teaser. And I'd say, yeah, that'd be pretty cool if Michael Bay knew enough about Transformers to know Nemesis Prime was a thing. Like, I stopped predicting Transformers stuff from the Michael Bay universe starting when I saw Revenge of the Fallen, Devastator. Like, at that point, everything is out the window. This is about someone on the outside looking in, thinking about Transformers, and I expect a corrupt version of Optimus Prime and not Nemesis Prime. That's a Michael Bay move. And that's sort of one of my problems with all these channels that like do speculation on the Michael Bay movies, because I don't think that's possible, because he just doesn't know anything and just sort of throws things to the wind. It might be a corrupted Optimus that came into contact with something that made him evil for a bit. I don't like speculating on this stuff anymore. Especially with that Megatron picture. What was with that, guys? MNOTU, I can't pronounce that. Said cool stuff. Definitely gonna keep my eye on your channel from now on. Thanks, man. I've seen Armada, Prime, the movies, read Exodus, and played the Cybertron games. I would like to read a comic book series now. What do you recommend? And I told him the IDW universe, and the day after I said that, they announced Revolution. But yeah, I still recommend IDW if you can get your hands on all the Transformers stuff, all the G.I. Joe stuff, all the ROM, all the Micronauts, all the... By the way, that sounds like a weird thing. Like, why don't you just read Transformers if you only like the Transformers? I'll probably make another video explaining my sort of completionist mentality. But yeah. I noticed that you've seen Armada. And again, as far as my completionist mentality, I'd also recommend seeing Energon and Cybertron to supplement that. With Prime, I recommend seeing Rescue Bots and Robots in Disguise. You've read Exodus. I recommend reading Exiles and Retribution, because those are the sequel books. And, yeah. Again, I have a weird completionist mentality where, like, if I read something, I have to read everything of it. So, yeah, that's just me. And last but certainly not least, we have all these comments of just saying how you guys like my Transformers Lore series. And I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, thank you guys so much. For supporting the series. You guys are what makes it awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to build a Transformers community around this channel. Every Fridays we try to watch something Transformers related on rabbit.com, or actually rab.it, but at the time of this video's release, if I can get it edited and uploaded in time, this Friday we're going to be watching the Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, Part 1 through 3 of the original Generation 1 cartoon. I'm going to say right now 8 p.m. EST, but that might change come Friday. But you can follow me on Twitter for updates, and Tumblr, and Facebook. And yeah, I think we're going to end it here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I might do future Q&As, so feel free to leave questions on this video or send me them at Twitter. Use the hashtag AskPrimus, I guess. So I'll know you want it answered in a video. I usually can't help myself from answering questions as soon as they're asked. But yeah, if you use that hashtag, I'll put it in a video. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to, and have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm always coming back to you. Some nights we fight, we scream, we don't know what